Okay, ISTEC colleagues, I'm at the ISAM's user group meeting in Vietnam. You can see probably behind me my wonderful hotel room. Okay, let's get to it. The first thing I want to talk about is term three. Who's going to host ISTEC in term three? If you are keen, there's not very much organization that is required behind the scenes. I can support you with it. Then please do get in touch with me. Let me just move myself out of the way on this email address. And we can start to pin down a date for term three. Next for me is AI. I don't know if you have AI fatigue at the moment. I think a lot of us probably do. Depends on how much you've been talking about AI in this ISTEC session. One of the things that I've been doing is curating a lot of the things that are relevant to me and what we do at Patterner in terms of AI, and I called it 7 Steps to AI Fluency. And in this, if I just zoom in, you can see here that I've actually pinned these things against different curricula, UNESCO, the UK stuff, and other places around the world. And it's just something that I curate in terms of all of these different 7 steps. So if you get the chance, or if you're interested in it, if you've not fatigued enough by AI, then go and have a look at that. The other thing as well, very quick one. I don't know if you're familiar with this website here, Stop Hacklore. I quite like it because it's sort of this bit of a myth buster in terms of when it comes to outdated security advice. And if you click on this one here, it says, here's some of the outdated advice in terms of avoiding public Wi-Fi's and things like this. And then it gives you a list of things that you should do or should recommend to your colleagues, parents, and students. Next for me is, I know that James is probably going to be talking about lots of Google stuff, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some It's Microsoft stuff. One of the things that I am absolutely loving at the moment, and it's typical Microsoft in terms of the name of it is so vanilla. It's like the difference between Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. It's called Microsoft Lists. And it is super powerful. I'm just going to open up a new tab in my browser here, go to the waffle and go to apps, or you can actually see it's there already, lists. But if you're Microsoft School and you click on your apps, then down inside here is something called Microsoft Lists. And you can create a new list from lots of templates and things like this. But you can see here, I've got some of the lists. I'm just going to go over an example of one. Let's have a look at sessions. So what we do is any session that involves training, this is technology for learning training, then we document it here. But what's really nice is that you can arrange a list by different views. So here, for example, if I want to see the audience in terms of who that technology has been targeted at, or if it's got a start date and end date, then I can have a view as a calendar, or I can filter the data by online safety as a board. There are many different ways to be able to represent the data. What I like about lists is that quite often, if this was in a spreadsheet, for example, if somebody filtered that, then that filter would affect or impact everyone else. And lists does not do that. What's good as well is that you can also use deep filters inside of the list. So if I want to find out which events Glenn has led, then it will filter that list just for the events that Glenn has taken part of or led. So it's just really nice. A way to represent lots and lots of data, but gives you the ability to be able to interrogate it. Also as well, if I just click off the filters, there is deep integration into Power BI. And so you can create trigger events. If let's say if this was a list of policies within your school, then you can contact the person that's responsible for that policy and send them an email automatically because they need to go and edit or check the policy. So if you're not familiar or you haven't used lists before, I highly recommend you go and have a look at that. Okay, how long have I been talking? So that's 5 minutes. Let's see what I've got left in my little box. So I've curated or downloaded all of the Bett presentations that occurred earlier on in the year in January. If you want a copy of those, then scan this QR code and you should be able to get a free copy of all of those different presentations. Next for me is, and I'm calling this school-owned devices. The prices for the MacBook Neo have come out with the educational discount. And if I just click onto here and go back to, this is the price list here. I do think we are in a position for the cost of a MacBook Neo and an iPad together are less than the cost. And why I say iPad obviously is from a pen-enabled side of things in terms of digital inking. I think the cost of those two things together for the first time in a long time mean that a school-owned device may actually be in order. And when I was at NIST recently talking to a few colleagues about this potential, it's fascinating. I think you're going to talk about it a little bit later on because it's on the agenda. So I'm fascinated to hear what you have to say regarding that, because the first exam for IB will be 2030 in English, and they will have to use laptops for it. And do we have laptops that we can lock down completely if it is a BYOD scenario? Okay, 6 minutes. I think you probably had enough of me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. And I'm hoping to see you in person in term 3 at another school. Take care. Bye-bye.